Once you bring the computer up, you got to put in your password, which is Mallett, lowercase letters. At that point, you put away the keyboard because we no longer need it. Open your DeRobo system. You go log into your job files. When you log into your job files, you'll find your job numbers that you're working on here. Locate your number, which will be on 593. Open your job. You're gonna close it out. And at that point, we gotta load our deck. When you load your deck, you want to check all your boards. So we always make sure you got good flat lumber when putting it in. Okay, at this point, you'll turn your power deck back off, close it out. You're gonna have to come to your in-feed control to initialize, and you have to home the system. When it homes, it brings it into the start position. That way the saw knows exactly where the footage is and it gets everything to the point. It's going to tell you it's homed. Once it's homed, you'll close it out. You'll start your blade. You'll tell the deck it's loaded. In-feed auto will feed the boards into the system.
One, two, three. Good. Good. Flip the switch to open. Open the handle up. You want to make sure all the sawdust is clear out of there. That this ring gear has no sawdust in there whatsoever. Every single cog in there, along with the one on the motor. And just spin it around by hand. And these holes up on top are very important. Keep all the sawdust out. I do that twice a day. On that, there's one here, one there, and then there's gonna be two more in the middle, straight in line with this side of the cylinder going up, okay? Also take this back cover off, blow off in there, make sure there's no sawdust in there, make sure the prox is plugged in, everything's good with that. Then what you're gonna do, I'm just gonna hit this button. But you're gonna kill the air. You're gonna spray WD on just the center rod, on that one, and the one back there. That's the main one. And then you're also, with the air killed, you're gonna pull that clamp out and spray the middle rod on that one. Okay, that's all there is in the cabinet to do. So once that's clean, come in here, open this door up, blow all the sawdust out of here, and make sure you get in this back corner. So all that's gonna have to be free of sawdust. And then you can go around the back side and blow out the back side also. Just as much sawdust as you can get out is gonna be the best thing for the saw. Do you need this off? It's gonna be like super loud.
No, you're good.
Okay. So you're gonna turn this valve off right there, and you can come down here and open this one up. Till it stops. Every morning, I would take this guy off, if it comes off, and dump out the water on the floor. This oil level right here, and you guys are gonna have to check this. It's supposed to go through one vial of these every 80 hours. Okay, so to that line, 80 hours is how much it's supposed to go through. Okay, to adjust that, clockwise it's gonna be less. You're gonna be tightening it down. Counterclockwise, it's gonna be more. 80 hours cutting, so I'd say every 2 weeks. And I would definitely open this up just to get all the oil and water that's in that tank out of that saw, okay? A few grease zerks, just on this unit alone. You got one here, one there, one there, and one there. And that's for back and forth, okay? And you also got one in that hole, one in that hole, one there, and one there, okay? When you grease it, do one pump. Every linear bearing, these are linear bearings, every single one of those is gonna be once a week. With that lithium grease, can't be anything else, okay? I'd say every month, take a Scotch-Brite pad. If it's super dirty rough, on these rails, buff it up, and a little air tool oil, you'll be golden. If it's nice and smooth, just put a little air tool oil on it and move the pusher back and forth across that oil. You guys won't have any issues. The belt, with it all the way one way, or most of the way, we're looking for 2 to 3 inches above the track, okay? Something about like that. We don't want it super tight, we don't want it super loose, just that happy medium. If we go over here, so there's one of two ways you can open this. If you got the power off, just take a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, put it there, and turn it till it stops, okay? Then it'll open. That's only if the power's off. If the power's on, that should always be like that. Just hit the switch, it'll open, okay? So, for the greasing on this one, you got a linear here, and you got one back here and one back here. All 4 corners of this whole unit are gonna have a linear bearing. That's once a week to grease it with that lithium. Once a month, I would also clean those rails up with Scotch-Brite and put a little air tool oil on. Once a month, there's a grease circ right inside this ring up on top. That's for this whole turntable, okay? I'd put the lithium grease in that. I'd probably do 3 pumps each time, okay? All the other ones, 1 pump. You also got the actuator. There's a grease circ on the back side of the saw, right about eye level. Just give it 2 pumps of the lithium grease, okay? That gets WD, that one gets WD. If you push this out, it's gonna be the center rod on that one. That one gets WD. Behind that cover are 2 more linear rails, or linear bearings. Once a week, those need to get greased. Once a month, clean it with the Scotch-Brite if it needs it, and put oil on it. Other than that, that's it in here. You got 2 linear rails back in here. You'll need to get some grease circs to put in there. Once a week on those with the lithium grease. Then same thing, once a month, Scotch-Brite if it needs it, and then air tool oil. Also got this one back here. You got a linear bearing back there, right there, and there's one up inside. The grease circ is facing straight up, okay? Like back in here, right in line with that prox, pretty close to, okay? That's once a week also. Scotch-Brite pad once a month if needed, air tool oil once a month, okay? These grease circ fittings, once every 2 months, regular grease if you want, 1 pump, okay? It doesn't take much. Any other bearing on here, I'd say once a month, your regular grease. Doesn't have to be that lithium. If you want to use the lithium, that's good, okay? Any other questions, concerns, issues?